There are four of them here.
Well, it's about that time right here on KAZ Radio, Cleveland's online inspiration station, where we have none other than one of the hottest shows that goes on the internet. Let me turn up you guys' volume. That goes on every single Sunday. See, Sir John got me all confused. I mean, he's making all this noise, and I can't concentrate on my intro. But anyway, we got none other than what's going on with Sir John and Lady D. And today their guest is none other than playwright Lillie M. Bell. How are you guys doing today?
Fair to middling. How about you?
I'm great, thank you.
I didn't mean to get you all,
Twisted up there, huh?
Right.
But John has that type of effect on folks, you know?
No, I do.
Yes, you do, yeah. Yes, Sir John.
Not
does.
intended.
Well, we have a wonderful guest here in our house, Miss Lillie Bell.
That's right.
And she is with Heaven Finest Productions.
Yes.
And without further ado, we're going to get started and let her tell us all about herself. So, Mrs. Bell, tell me, give the audience a little quick overview about you, things you do, and how you come about being a playwright.
Okay, well, again, my name is Lillie M. Bell. I am a native Clevelander. I am a graduate of the Cleveland School of the Performing Arts. I majored in theater and dance, and my minor was vocal music. So I've been trained in the arts since the 6th grade when I first started, and I've always had a passion for the arts.
All right.
It's just something that's in me, and I've always been taught if there's something that's inside you and it won't leave, that's that thing that you should be doing.
Correct.
So that's where my love is.
That is awesome. And so tell me, how long have you been writing?
I've been writing ever since elementary school. I used to write small books. I was in major works, and so we wrote, we would have to write creative writing, and in our creative writing classes we would have to do small stories, and so I would do writings and illustrations, and then our teachers would kind of combine all the students' works to be eventually published.
Okay.
Oh, that's that's awesome.
Excellent. So, what got you into writing? Is anyone in your family or that's into writing or
Please.
Publish books or things like this?
Well, I have one of my aunts. She does write poems. I also used to write poems. I stopped writing poems when I was probably still in elementary. My father passed away when I was 9 years old, and so some of the things that I used to do, I kind of stopped doing those things as a result. So I never really got back in.
Was it because of your passing of your dad? Or
I'm not sure. I had one of my teachers. I had lots of poems, and one of my 6th grade teachers actually was an English teacher. She asked to take them with her home, and she was talking about publishing them. Well, I never heard back. Never saw my book.
Really? Well, that would be interesting to go and find out
Yeah,
where
what
is
happened?
it. What happened to
I don't want
your
to call
works?
any names, but yes, I'd like to know what happened to them. But
Yeah, that would be interesting.
I stopped writing poems. I may dabble here and there, but I used to just write. I would write out my thoughts. When my father passed, I think I started writing more of my thoughts and things because I didn't like to verbalize things. I was more of an introvert, so I thought. And so I would just write my thoughts out. Thoughts, prayers, whatever was going on with me, I would write those things out.
I do that too. I have growing up, I used to, as a teenager, I got into writing Dear God letters because I didn't really know who I could talk to or felt comfortable.
Or trust, right.
So
So where
wrote
do you
my
mail
thoughts.
that?
Where do I mail it? I don't mail it. I still have my tablets, and it's really funny because I
I'm
go
just
back
kidding.
and I look at some of my Dear God letters and the prayers that I would write out, and to see if some of the things that I asked for, or, did it come true? I experience it? And a lot of them I did. I found out that a lot of it was answered. And it was like a diary.
Yeah.
And so it was something for me to reflect back on.
Yeah, I kept a diary for a short time. I guess I'd rather things be more personal between me and God, and so I didn't want someone to find them and to see all of my innermost thoughts and feelings. But I found that writing helped. And as a matter of fact, it's funny that you mentioned writing prayers down. I would do that as well. And I had written a prayer which actually starts the show, my play that's coming up.
Okay.
Okay.
It begins with a prayer. And it was a prayer that I had at a time that I was really going through in my life. And I incorporated that prayer
Okay.
into the play.
Excellent. Excellent.
So how long ago did you write that prayer before you realized it was part of the play? Or you put it as part of the play?
It probably was over 7 years before.
Wow. So the Holy Spirit, I guess, was working on you
Absolutely.
then. About this
I
play.
definitely believe that. Yeah.
So tell us about the play.
The play is called Crossroads, How Your Decisions Determine Your Destination. It's a play that it deals with two young men who come to a place in their lives where they have to make very important decisions. They find themselves on two ends of a spectrum. One is a gentleman who is saved, and he's in church and doing all of the right Christian things as someone would see to the human eye. But he himself has struggles that he's dealing with, and he's confronted with his girlfriend and some of his friends about the things that he's going through and the way that he's displaying his lifestyle. And he has a friend on the opposite end whose name is, well, that character was Ronnie. He has a friend, JJ, who is in the streets. And he his mom passed away when he was a child. His father was never in his life. So he was living with his grandmother, who was not really able to take care of him. So he was moved around from family member to family member. He never felt like he found a home until he got with a gang. And that's where he found home.
Okay.
And a sense of belonging. But he has come to a place where they both meet back up again. And he knows that that's not where he wants to continue with his
Okay.
life. And the only person he knows to turn to is Ronnie.
That's awesome. So tell us, when is the play going to be, and where, the location and the time?
Well, the play is June 3rd and 4th, Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, the play starts at 6 o'clock p.m., and Sunday at 4 o'clock. It will be held at Tri-C Metro Campus Auditorium
Okay.
here in Cleveland, Ohio.
And the cost of the tickets?
The tickets are $25, and there are groups of 10 or more. The tickets are $20, and I promise, I guarantee, it will be worth every single penny.
All right. You mentioned the spectrum. So mainly this play is geared towards young adults.
Actually, no, and that's the beauty of it. Although the characters, when I originally wrote the play, if I can say, I started. The play was written for my church's youth department.
Okay.
But upon writing it, I had the vision that it wasn't going to just stay there.
Okay.
That was going to be where it started, but I didn't want it to stop there. I felt like the Lord was moving me to go forward with it, and so I wrote the characters and the play so that the age group would be arranged. So it actually ranges from 17 to 35-year-olds for the characters.
Okay.
And so
it's
it
going
actually
on
works, right.
the spectrum of their life from that.
Well, no. So say, for instance, in 2008 was when I originally wrote the play. Okay, so that group of children performed those roles. They had to be older children, but they weren't 35-year-old.
Right.
They were more 19, 20-year-olds. But the same problems and struggles that those characters face
Right.
are the same problems and struggles that someone in their 30s would face as well. And so it just seamlessly was able to work for this age group
As well.
So
Okay.
you have to come and see, and you can tell me if you
Yeah,
agree.
I would like
but-
to. I would like to, because you know what? Because now today, with different issues and things that our young adults go through, people of an older gender have the same issues.
Absolutely.
And then a lot of times you find that as you get older, some people mature and move on, and others they're still there.
I'm still
They're
silent.
They're still stagnated.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
You know, and they don't know how to move on. Want to, but don't know how. And you'd be surprised how the streets and they play a part of your life. You know, so you want to fit in.
Yeah.
You just
You
don't know
mentioned
where
it's
you want
coming
to
from a
fit in.
Christian point of view.
It is coming from a
So
Christian point of view.
is the main, what's the main thing? I said, that if you allow the Holy Spirit to be a part of your life and their guide and surrender to it, or is it more, or exactly?
Well, I was going to read you a synopsis.
Okay.
Take your time.
This play deals with the struggles of life faced by teens and adults alike. How can you be committed to your faith while being surrounded by the pressures of life, sex, drugs, alcohol, peer pressure, and society? Ronnie and JJ are faced to make decisions that will forever change their lives as they know them. Crossroads is a chilling, thought-provoking drama that focuses on issues resulting from everyday life experiences. And so, yes, the ultimate goal is to show people that there is another way of life besides what they know, and as far as the streets. And even there are some people who feel there's so many stigmatisms and prejudices that we face as Christians, because we have people who have, these are the big sins and these are the little sins. Well, no, all sin
It's sin.
is sin. And
Yeah,
so
it don't make no difference.
we have come to a place in our churches where we've kind of pushed the world away. We fit into a bubble, and the only people that we're witnessing to is one another, when we have a world
To be
that's out
witnessing
there
to.
that we need to witness to.
Now, Lily, they've asked all the sweet questions.
I'm right.
And all the nice questions,
See, I told you.
but I gotta know stuff. I mean, I just gotta know.
I warned you.
Who is, or no, I don't want you to expose them if they're for real, but is there a Ronnie and a JJ that you know in your life?
Absolutely. There are several Ronnies and JJs that I know.
Okay.
Several Ronnies and JJs that I know. What my goal in writing, I think, what comes from the heart reaches the heart, and you have to be able to experience things. I have some plays that I've started on that I have not finished because the Lord has not revealed everything, or even placed people in my life that are going to enhance these other plays. My next play, I won't give any hints yet about it, but I'll say that it deals with alcohol, drug abuse, date rape, domestic violence, and child custody issues.
Wow.
I like to write about things that we're facing every day.
And that is so good because you said it. I was thinking it as you were talking. What comes from the heart reaches the heart. And to write a play called Crossroads that are really going to affect the viewers, it has to be real. It has to be
Definitely.
Something that came from your
And yeah,
understanding, or your visual, you watched it, or you saw it, or you experienced it, or
Absolutely.
you lived it, or
Right.
something like that. That's good stuff, because I like stuff like this. I like stuff like this because sometimes preaching the gospel doesn't necessarily reach everybody,
exactly.
but illustrations. People are now tuned into television and their Facebook accounts and videos, and illustrations are very, very powerful.
Very powerful.
Yeah, they like seeing vision.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And when they can relate to that person on the stage or on the screen,
Yes.
that's what brings it to reality. Because we can say, just like a preacher can say something over the pulpit, and we hear those things, but it almost becomes monotonous. And I believe that our God is so much greater than just to be held to hearing something from the pulpit.
Yes.
He hasn't given us talents to just put on the shelf.
Right.
I think he wants us to use everything that he's given us to his glory, and
Most
to make sure that
definitely.
his word is going forth.
Well, Jesus, when he
Jesus
gave
used it
parables and illustrations, he had to
the
relate
way he
to those
preached.
people
Absolutely.
during those times.
Right.
That is some good stuff. So, tell me about your experience.
Which I've had several experiences.
Well, about the play, something inspired you.
Well, originally I was asked to write the play. So when I was asked to write a play, I was asked to write a play for the youth department, and what they requested was that they wanted the play to start off with prayer, and they wanted it to end in praise. That was what they gave me.
Got it.
And from there, I don't know how other people write. I know that I don't write from A to Z. I write in puzzle pieces.
Okay.
Right.
You know, it can be different things that I experience may then go into the play. I may be driving down the street and I may see something that catches my eye with a situation, and that will go, into a play. I'll see something else, or hear a conversation, or I'll witness, something else. That's how it comes to me. Like, I don't know how it comes out other people, but
Right.
that's how it comes to me. And then I put it on paper, and then I put the pieces together. And so, with that being said, they wanted it to be a male as a main character, and so I just started thinking about some things. Thinking about what the young people go through, and things that they face, and that's how it came about. The title, everything. I believe just like how the Bible is inspired word of God, written by many authors, but ultimately inspired by God. I would have never thought that I would have been able to write something like this, because I'm not saying to be, I'm very humble, and I know that it's the Lord that gave me this to write. I never would have imagined that it would have turned out like this. So it's a blessing to be able to do. And even in the rehearsals, our rehearsals are not just rehearsals, but each and every time it's a worship experience, and just to hear the feedback from the actors, because I opened it up to everyone this time, the entire world.
So it's like
It
a
didn't
praise
matter.
fest. Or,
Absolutely. I didn't care if they were Muslim, Jehovah Witness, Christians,
Right.
from the streets. I have
Right.
actual,
That's good.
ex-gang members who are in the play.
That's
you
good.
know,
That's
and they
great,
help to
yeah.
bring it to life, because
Right.
that's what
Right.
that's what I want. That's what we need to see. It's time to take off the mask.
Right,
People are
because
hurting, people are
right.
struggling, and they need to see Jesus in us.
And you know what? Here's my thing is that because we all are children of God and we all are loved, and regardless of what another one, their faults may be, or because I feel like this here, I believe each and every one of us are here and we all play a role. Even that person that may have an addiction.
Absolutely.
Everybody plays a role, but you
Every-
got to. It's good to see it that coming out of the box, because the church is the people. It's not a building. It's not a place. It's
Right.
people, and that's what Christ was mainly talking about:
Right.
people. And one of the things I've been this week I have a whole bunch of revelations that that's been pounding on me. And one of the things that pounded on me in revelations, revelation from Christ or God, the Holy Spirit, more or less, communication. My wife said to me sometimes my communication, not sometimes,
Your skills.
she made a point to say, my communication could be sort of dictatorial, and I never noticed that or never looked at it that way. And it made me turn around and really take evaluation, because I'm in this point in my life to understanding that what Christ, what God, what the Holy Spirit wants for me is better than what I want for me. And to get that, you have to put the ego aside. You have to have the ego surrender to the Spirit, to the Holy Spirit, so He can give that for you.
Yep.
And it takes a lot, because your ego is a 2-year-old and it's me. But you have to
grow.
bring that compromise and make that commitment with your ego.
So, John,
to surrender to this.
So Mrs. Breckenridge
Actually,
is a
Home.
prophetess.
I won't go that
Is that what
far.
you're No, she's a prophet because
I won't go that far.
She
I wanna go
brought
that
you.
far. No.
She brought you the truth.
Him and Lois have great
Okay,
debates.
yeah. Prophetess Lois said, "Honey, let me tell you something."
Well, it took me about 10 and a half years. But, I finally, said, well, why don't we pay attention? Why don't we pay attention?
Why don't we pay attention? Amen.
Communication is definitely key.
Right.
It's funny you brought up the fact that how Jesus in his teachings, and how he wanted to reach out to people, and we need to be able to communicate with people and realize that the church is not the only place. People are hurting. And there's actually a scene in the play where it's ironic too, because the deacon who is teaching the Bible study, he's preachy, very, teaching the Bible, and he says, this is a spiritual hospital. Sinners are sin sick, and right here, this is a spiritual hospital. This is where they need to be.
Right.
in a spiritual hospital. The church is a spiritual hospital. And but then he turns around and he tells Ronnie, "Hey, we don't want that guy JJ around our girls. You know, we don't
Okay.
need his type around here." And he doesn't even realize what he's saying.
It just
Right.
took away from what he was saying,
What
from
he
what the
was
Spirit
saying,
had put
yes.
out there.
What was funny is the person who plays that character, when he was learning the lines, he says, "I feel funny saying that. I feel funny saying that to him because I was just teaching a Bible study." I said, "Exactly." But that's the reality. That's what we see, and that's why the world, it's difficult for them to come to a loving Christ because they don't see a loving Christ.
You see the
Exactly.
hypocrisy a lot of times,
People are so
unfortunately.
quick to judge.
Absolutely.
And we judge on appearances. Which
Well,
is
I
sad.
mean, it just like the church-wise, sometimes the image that it's coming across is very hypocritical. It's not in line with the message of Christ.
Not at all.
Because you got to remember when he did come and when he did start his ministry, he started it pretty much with the people at the lowest end of society. You know, because perfect example when he was talking to the Pharisees. Well, I think in one of the first times he said, "I didn't come." Really, he was saying, "I didn't come to you guys because you're supposed to already know this.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You're supposed to already know." You know, and so that's. I think that something like this, because it's through art. A lot of times they. Like we were talking, the visual art, it's where humanity, really, the heart of humanity comes out and speaks. And people need to see those things. So it makes a register, not only just for people who need to come closer to Christ, but also us who are Christians.
True.
It
make
resonates
our-
with the spirit.
Right.
It
Our
resonates
relationship with
that
him.
soul.
Right. And
stronger.
like you said, you had to take inventory of yourself.
Yeah.
When your wife brought something out, pointed something out to you. Lots of times we are so into living our lives, we forget, who we are and how we really are until someone points it out to us. But it also needs to be pointed out in love.
Right.
Because if you combative at someone, the first reflex is for them to defend.
Yes.
Repulse.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
They're
you
not going
put
to
up your
wanna hear it.
barriers. You're like, what?
That's what I love. What I love about the arts is that that's one of the one mediums where everybody can relate. It doesn't, you're on the same playing field. Doesn't matter who you are. Everybody loves music, or maybe not be the same types, but
Right.
we can all come together collectively through the arts.
Yes.
And I think it's a beautiful way to display, the love of Christ.
It was great when you say you open that up for everybody. And that brings a community closer.
does.
And everybody gets to see the different sides and views. So funny, but it's like everybody can come together and listen and learn and communicate.
And even that person
Connect.
who's playing that gang member role, is he really a gang member?
Well, he's from the
Used
street.
to.
He's from the streets. So see that by him being able to participate in something like this,
Opens him to a new
oh
world.
right, opens
It
him up, and
does.
he may make a turnabout
Absolutely.
in his life.
Absolutely.
Okay, because he get a chance to actually almost see himself in the mirror, where
Analyze
before
and
he
reflect.
it didn't matter. But this here, he gets to see something else.
And it also gives him a chance to see that, wow, people see what I'm thinking. They really get it. Because this play is really just like expose everybody.
Wow.
It
Great.
does.
I'm excited. I
And
can't
that's the
wait to
good
see
thing
it.
about it. And so just watching him, this has been a journey. I'll say that this particular production, this is my very first time on my own.
Okay.
And that's why I said when I came here, I didn't want to, be videotaped, because it's like, no, I've been through today.
Okay.
But it was a breakthrough, because where you expect to find love and support, you don't always find that, and sometimes you feel like you're on the island all by yourself. And one of my friends, Cameron Charles, he sang a song today that was just definitely, I felt it was for me, and it was God is able.
Yes.
And despite whatever you may think or whatever you may see or however things may look to you at this moment, don't think about that. Don't give up on God, because He won't give up on you.
That's right.
He's able, and it just, it resonated with me, and it just took me to totally different place.
That's good.
Definitely higher level, and I needed that.
Right.
So how was the first showing of this play? Was it at the church? And,
No,
Okay.
all of the productions have been in a theater,
okay.
and the previous productions were at Tri-C in the main theater. So that seats a smaller group of people.
Right.
But of course, just as things change, inflation goes up, and so do prices. And so I had to move to a larger venue to accommodate, hopefully, the viewers, but definitely to make sure that we could pay for the people who are seeing it. But I believe so much in this play that if I come, which I don't, Lord, please, come in the hole and have to pay, I believe in it that much. It's that powerful, and I believe it needs to go forth.
Right.
I stand behind it.
You
that
surrender
much.
to the Spirit, He'll take care of it. That's
Yes.
you just said He was
Absolutely.
able.
He is able.
All right.
See, he will
And-
see you through. So
He'll
therefore,
take care of
that's
it.
where your faith is going to come in.
That's where the rubber meets the road.
Okay,
Right.
that's right.
And I'm claiming it.
And
I
just
am.
claim it and assume
I
it
am.
and walk.
You know, we do fall in our flesh sometimes.
Because you know
and so-
what?
Yeah,
I'm going to tell
it's-
you, Lily, we have some really great playwriters. There's this one gentleman who's, I would say, maybe not started quite like you, but Phil Wheaton.
Yes.
You know Philly Wheaton. Philly Wheaton started out writing. I remember Philly in the gym. He was my coach. And he would sit there and he would be writing, and him and his brother, they started off doing small plays. And because of the great following that they had behind them, people supported whatever they were doing, and it just blew up. And now look at Phil
Right.
Wheaton today.
Absolutely.
So you could be following that same path. So you start off, and
Oh, she's following her path.
it's her path,
Yeah.
and this is something that
Because
she
that's
strongly
for her.
believes in.
I do.
And so therefore, go with it.
Yeah.
And may the city of Northeast Ohio, Cleveland, get out and support this young
Absolutely.
lady. If you want to call in and talk to her today, we're at 216-539-7225. Please feel free to do that. If not,
Yeah,
it's okay.
she's a little
Skype is down.
shy, but
Skype
she
is
would-
down, remember?
I forgot
yeah,
we're
that's
down
right.
today.
Skype is down.
But that's okay.
But
please,
if they want to, they're watching and they want
Watching, yeah.
to text me while we're watching. You can do it on Facebook Live, right?
okay, yes.
Hey,
And go ahead.
I wanted to say one other thing, because you asked for all the plays. Was this the first time in the theater? One of my main goals was to make sure that we were in a theater, because what I find with people, I don't understand why, because my philosophy is I operate in excellence. That's just my goal. God gave me His best, and I have nothing. I can't do anything but give Him my best.
Right.
And so I share that with my cast members, with my I direct a praise dance ministry and over our fine arts ministry at my church as well.
Okay.
And that's always what I instill in them. We operate in excellence.
What is the name of your church?
Blessed Hope Missionary
And where
Baptist
is
Church.
Blessed Hope located?
8804 Buckeye Road, Cleveland, Ohio, 44104.
Excellent. And what are some of the things that you do at Blessed Hope?
Okay, let me tell you my pastor, because I have to do that. My pastor
Yes.
is Pastor Johnny F. Twyman.
Yes.
I'm over our praise dance ministry, Silent Praise. I was over Vessels of Praise, and we also have golden vessels. And Fine Arts Ministry, I'm a member of the Adult and the Mass Choir, and I'm an honorary member of the Courtesy Committee. I'm a nurse.
Okay.
I
You
play.
say you
I'm
have
very
a lot of
active.
roles, okay?
Yeah, I'm very active in my church. But I wanted to make sure that we had it at a theater, because what I find is that church people, unfortunately, when it's something that they do for the church, they say, oh, it's for God, it'll be blessed. Well, then we use that as a crutch. And we don't take it seriously, and then we don't give our best. Oh, God will bless it. Well, I don't believe that God just blesses everything. He doesn't bless mess. And when we are mediocre, why would we want to live in mediocrity
Right.
when there's excellency?
Right.
And so I wanted to have it in a theater, because, for one, I want the young people to see what it's like to be in a theater.
Right.
To perform in a theater. Because when you do something on a professional level, it should be professional, and people
Yes.
will take you more seriously.
Right.
Yes.
And we serve a good God.
Yes.
Why would we want to just
Go
Yes, we
halfway.
can.
Right.
yeah.
You know, if it's
Anybody
your
can
best
throw
friend
something
or the
together,
most
you know?
excellent
Right.
friend, you want to give them
You
any
give them
best
the
friend.
best.
You
You
give them the
lay
best
it
friend. You
out.
give them the best.
Absolutely.
So you
Right.
lay it out. It's simple as
Absolutely.
that.
And I hear people say, oh, it's just for the church. It'll be okay. Or, oh, well, I can just write the notes on my hand, or I can write the notes. Well, no. No, you can't. What you can do is you can devote your time to this and give
Commit.
it your best. Absolutely.
Right. And give that support because that is so important.
Yeah.
Because I'm quite sure.
Well, it's also a form of praise and prayer
It is.
and showing to God that, what thanks for all that He's done for you.
Exactly.
Like you would do it to any friend,
Yeah.
And so she's right. Why you give halfway? You don't do that when your best friend's having a birthday. You come
Right.
out with all
Right.
the balloons.
You wouldn't do it for the president.
you
If the
wouldn't-
president
right.
were here, you would
And
want
he don't do
to.
nothing
Oh, well,
for
that's
you.
another question.
See, I was going to use that. I was
Lily,
going
Lily, don't go.
I was
Lily,
about
don't
to,
go there, Lily.
springboard. I was
Lily,
about to
don't go.
springboard.
talk
I was thinking of our former president.
Oh, man.
Actually.
Oh, see, now you
So,
cut me off. See,
Yeah, no, I was
ready,
thinking of our
yeah.
former president.
If the president
You know,
came in here today, he would get carte blanche.
Seven
He would
don't
be
matter.
treated with everything. Some people
Yeah,
call
45.
him 45.
45.
I don't
Well,
call him.
I
I respect him
You know what?
for who he is.
I don't call him 45 anymore. I
Thank
call
you.
him like the Mexicans do TP.
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 They just came out with some toilet paper
Okay.
called Trump.
Oh,
For those
Okay.
migrants on the run.
No, we
Oh, Lord. Okay, let's focus this and turn this back around to
Thank you.
crossroads.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm just saying. It's a
you.
commercial. I
Because
saw that
there
on
is a road
Univision.
that needs to be crossed.
Telemundo,
when we start talking about
Telemundo.
the president.
45.
Okay, now back
But
to
anyway.
theater life. Okay.
Thank you, Derelia.
Because that may be another play.
It was a commercial. It was on Univision.
Was it?
Univision.
Only you will see
oh
it.
my.
Telemundo. I watch soccer.
But you know what? Now, the young actors is on in your play, and is this their first time actually being in a theater on stage?
For some, it is. We have some people who are some roles that are return members that were in the cast
Okay.
before. There are a few of them, but for I'd say it's half and half.
Half and half. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but for the main characters are new.
Okay.
Oh, okay, that's good.
This time, I'm actually playing a role on Sunday.
Okay, I was going to ask,
So,
are you
yes.
in this? Yes, I can't
On-
see you
on-
not writing this and not
Well,
being a part of
yeah,
this.
that was not my plan. I didn't. I did not want to be. But on Sunday, I have some friends who I unfortunately they wouldn't buy a ticket unless I was
going to be
going to
performing.
be performing.
Okay, are you going
They
to be
said,
singing? Or you going to keep it a surprise?
I will keep it a surprise.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, there we go. All right, that's good.
Hey.
Well, let's take you had another gentleman, another guest that's supposed to be coming on named Cameron Charles. So I'm gonna play some of his music in the background
Yes.
while we continue.
Yes, that's a friend of mine.
this-
And
this-
could you
this conversation.
give us a little insight on Cameron, because I had an opportunity really just to talk to him over the phone, and his spirit is just so.
It
I mean,
is.
it's just so wonderful.
It is.
And I really am sorry that he's not sitting here with us
So am
today, because a young lady at my job gave me his CD. She says, Derelia, I think he should be on your show. Lady D should be on your show. And I was like, okay, well, let me have the music. And this particular day at work, I was just really going through some things at work. I put the CD on, and man, it just made all the difference in the world. And I really appreciated that song. It touched me, and it made me feel better.
It does. Cameron is a wonderful young man. I've been knowing Cam since he was little.
Okay.
Yeah, and we go to the same church, and he is just as you spoke of him, and you haven't even known him for long, but he's true to that description. He's a teddy bear. He has a sweetheart. He's a very humble spirit, just a really warm, kind-hearted, generous individual. He
How
really-
long has he been singing?
For as long as I've known him.
Okay.
Well, let's listen to a little bit of Cameron.
Okay. Let's listen to some Cameron.
It may be dark and cloudy right now, but you just, He will comfort you. Now you may be wondering, how could God allow things to happen to me? But I wrote this verse just to let you know. Listen, nobody said this road would be easy. But you've gotta go through the fire in order to become pure gold, pure gold. You might lose some family and some friends. You might lose some material things. But as long as you got Jesus, he'll be there. Only if you wait, wait, I say, on the Lord.
Awesome, just awesome, awesome, awesome. I can just listen to Cameron.
Yes.
Oh, Cameron, you're so awesome.
He has a very powerful
Yes.
very powerful voice. Cameron actually is going to open up the play.
Is he? Okay.
Because I believe in giving back, and I would like everyone to be able to showcase
Okay.
their work. So I wanted to be able to give him that opportunity to sing his song and to let people, get to know him and who he is, and hopefully purchase some of his music
Right.
as well. But again, he's one of the characters
Okay.
in the play.
He reminds me of Jeffrey Golden.
Yeah, I love Jeff.
In ways. Yeah, he really does.
Yeah, they both had the same humble spirit.
Really?
Good
Okay.
man.
Yeah, very nice young man. Very
Yeah.
nice young man.
That is
Absolutely.
awesome. And I'm quite sure Cameron will have his CDs there that we can purchase.
Well, unfortunately, Tri-C does not allow any sales.
Oh, bummer.
No sales on the premises, and that's why I keep stressing the
No,
tickets
at
have
the
to be
door.
purchased in
Yeah.
advance. On Eventbrite, you can purchase them through Facebook on Eventbrite as well. I try
Okay.
to make it very
So you can't pay at the
accessible.
door?
No
Accessible.
sales.
No sales at the
No.
door? Okay, well, I definitely
No
got to
door
get my
sales.
ticket ahead of
Yeah.
time then.
And so what we will be doing, though, is having a vendor table so that if people are interested, we will get their contact information
Okay.
so that he can send out the CDs to them.
Okay.
And we'll try to find, other ways. There's always other ways to be
Yeah,
able to make that.
right. That's good. That's good. Yeah, because he,
All these new rules and things.
yeah, he really has some beautiful
He
music.
does.
So, tell us, when are you planning on getting your next play into,
Production?
yes.
Well, I'm still finishing up one, but remember I had told you earlier that I believe that God places people in my life, and He's
And it's time.
And it's time,
Yeah.
so we'll be looking.
and so I've met some people who are I'm interviewing
Okay.
so that I can incorporate some of the meat into the play. So it's almost ready. That's in
Are you still looking
to meet with people.
for actors? And
Well,
actors?
I'm not auditioning yet.
Okay.
I'm
all right.
I'm
Look at
actually
Dorella,
just
she
meeting
was
people.
ready.
Like, say for instance, do you
well,
act?
I did. I grew up in theater.
Did you?
Yes, I danced. I
Oh, well,
danced.
let's
at
call her
Fairview.
backyard.
Shameless plug. Shameless.
It's okay.
I won't say I'll dance today. You know.
You will never
Won't be
know.
doing any leaps today.
Right.
There are some individuals that just nothing is by happenstance. So I won't say
Right.
that, but I've met people just like how I met you.
Yes.
I've met people through people, and I'm just
Small
like
world.
amazed. Like, wow, my next play is about things that you're going through. Would you mind sitting down and talking with me so I can like pick your brain and ask
Right.
you? Because I like to make things real. And so
Right.
experiences. I have a friend. I'll keep it the anonymity of them, but who had experienced domestic violence. And so she sat down and we talked and she shared some things with me. And then I had someone else who shared some things with me. And so those, some of those experiences are going into the play.
Okay.
And just as well as with the drug abuse and alcohol abuse. Because what we find is that we can be functional. No one may know what's going on with us, and we're operating just
Yeah.
like we normally would, but
Yeah.
the hurt inside is real.
Yeah.
And it doesn't deal directly with suicide, but there is some suicide that it touches on as well, because that's also a very real topic, even in the Christian community. And as Christians, we feel that we aren't allowed to go to that place. And that's,
Well, a lot of people
that's
do.
unreal.
I mean, you're human
Absolutely.
beings. So that's good that it's, again, that's another topic to hit on, that we all as human beings feel, to lead us and give us eye-opening to say, hey, that is still a topic, something that you can talk to God about and ask the Spirit to lead you out it and through it.
Right.
Again, it comes down to surrender, though.
Yep. And just like in Cam's song, he says, hold on, you don't know you feeling like this today, but there's a tomorrow.
Yes.
And tomorrow comes with brand new mercies and God's grace. And so if we hold on, we can make it through.
Yeah.
Well, Lillie, can I get personal now?
Sure.
I mean, we've heard all the great stuff. Okay. Are you currently married?
I'm single.
You're single. Always been single, or
Yes.
all your life?
Yes.
Okay. So, as a single woman out here, experiencing this gift that God has given to you, have you been able to find time for your own personal enjoyment, your own personal life? I mean, or is everything church and writing and working for the Lord? I mean, is there a personal life to Lillie Bell?
Some would say no. There is a personal life to Lillie Bell, but it does come with, there are guidelines. And
Okay.
so at this juncture in my life, I am definitely trying my best to live out what the Lord would have me to do.
I
So,
sense that about you.
yeah, and so do I have people banging on my door?
Yeah,
Not
I'm sure
necessarily.
you do. I'm sure you do.
Not necessarily. Well, they may knock, but then when I, lay it out, and they kind of
Back
backpedal.
away.
They back away.
They backpedal.
And that as a society we live in, do you find that discouraging when you tell men the truth about Jesus Christ and about yourself, that they actually back away? Because I'm assuming these are guys that's coming to church.
Yeah. Guys that are in church, like,
Yeah.
They're in church, but they still want to do
They want to do worldly things.
worldly things as well.
right.
And,
Well, they want to
yeah.
do their thing. They haven't surrendered yet. So.
Yeah.
All the
Well,
way.
you think they had, but yeah, absolutely. Right.
Because
Appearance-wise, and in their
Like you were
conversation.
talking about earlier.
Correct. In their conversation to the public, yes, but,
Get them behind the closed doors, and it's a different story.
it is, and but because we're
personal struggle.
all humans, exactly, it's a struggle, and we have a flesh, and the flesh is weak,
Yes.
and so it's up to us to make sure that we feed this. It's because it's the spirit that we feed.
Ego.
That it's going to be.
Right.
Well, no, it's the man. It's the man that we feed.
Right.
The most that's going to be strengthened, and so I choose in my life to strengthen my spirit,
Right.
and so that do I get tempted? Absolutely, I'm human, but I praise God that He always. His word says He will make a way of escape.
Right,
There's
I mean-
no temptation that is coming, and I make
Right.
sure on my phone even.
Okay.
If I'm visiting with someone and things get a little crazy, I have on my phone a song that helps to keep me
Balance.
balanced and in
Okay.
perspective, and that's my mantra. And the song goes, "This is not the time to get distracted. This is
Oh.
not the time to go off course. You have a work to do for the Lord." And I when I hear it, it's like
Wow.
it's
That's
hypnotic.
Get you
Yeah,
back.
I need to,
Like, I like
but I
that.
need that, because I am. I'm human, just like anyone else.
Right.
I have desires, just like anyone else. But
Right.
I'm wise enough to know I can't do it by myself. And so if I need, an alarm to wake me up,
Mm-hmm.
then
That's a good
that's
idea.
what I
Yeah.
put in place.
That is a very good idea, because there are triggers in people's lives. I talk to young men and young women on occasions, and they don't understand why they do certain things, and that's because you got to figure out what triggers you to want to fall into that temptation. What gives you the thing that says, what, I'm going to do this, and then end up ruining marriages and lives and it's just sad. But I am so grateful that you are here today.
Thank you.
You know, it's a true blessing to have someone who loves God and thought outside the box and decided to write a play and then to actually have it performed, and not even in a church building, which I think that's even
More powerful.
more outside of the box.
Yes.
And inclusive.
Because
all inclusive of the community.
Because I'm assuming someone from the church, maybe pastor or someone, asked you to write this play.
Well, it was our youth coordinator who asked me to
Okay,
write it.
someone in the church. Okay.
Someone at the church.
All right.
And then I got a lot of opposition,
Tell us about
unfortunately. Well, because, like I said, people are thinking, well, it's just for the church. And that's a phrase that I hate. Well, it's for the church. It's almost like a wave of hand at God. And no, that's unacceptable. For me, it's
Right.
unacceptable.
Right.
And so, when I first did the production, I had auditions. That was in opposition because they didn't understand why they would need to audition.
Right.
So
Really?
absolutely. Oh no, and
Sure.
it's worse now. It's even worse now because it's who do you think you are that we have to audition whenever we've done anything else? We just
Did it.
do it.
Uh.
Well, because I
There's
You want to bring that up.
Let's give God our best.
Yes.
Right.
Excellence.
excellence, and if you don't think enough of it to audition and give your best in the audition,
Right.
so that you can be selected, then maybe it's not for you right now. And that's just, and some people said, well, that's discouraging. That may be discouraging to them. Well, you know what? I disagree. We in
It
life,
always makes you better. I mean,
absolutely.
It's like a job. If you
Well,
want
it's
to,
more- yeah.
if you want this job, you're gonna go and give it your all.
Well,
to try
perfect
to get
example,
that
and I've
job.
always tell people,
You know?
and it's one of the things that helped me in my journey. My wife said, you always talk about it, but that's one that helped me in my relationship with Christ, is looking at the life of David. From the very beginning, no matter good or bad, whatever he did, he gave God the only. Now everybody else, he might have gave him a half and half. Someone, his first wife, he probably gave her, but everybody else, he went, 100%. But God, on a dime, that's the example David gave. He could be in the middle of the street, and if God brought something to his attention, he gave it 120, every ounce of him.
Well, David David gave 100% all the time.
David gave 100% to God all the time.
No.
He said even when he was wrong, he gave 100%.
No.
You gonna say David gave 100% to everybody?
when-
I think Michael, I totally disagree with you.
When Samuel was looking for the king,
When he was looking for the
and
king,
went to
he was
David's
looking
father,
for what?
He was out in the field taking 100% responsibility for the family's business.
That's the family,
Sheep.
the sheep.
The sheep. Okay.
Right.
He killed a bear. He killed
a
a
lion.
So he.
Who
that
ki-
guy
no,
was-
hold on.
He
Hold
was
it.
100%.
Who
When
killed
it
the
came
bear?
to Goliath,
Who killed the lion?
it was
Who
his
killed that lion?
character. It was his character.
It was God who killed it through him, because David surrendered to God. He surrendered to the Spirit.
but
It was
David's
not David
attitude-
physically. David didn't
This
say it was him physically.
is why-
He said, what? God did it through me. That's because he surrendered to God.
Because he was 100%
now,
kind of guy. He
Michael,
was 100% kind of
Michael will say something different when you're talking about whether or not he gave her 100%. I'm just saying. But I'm just saying, well, God, he gave it all.
Michael.
His first wife.
Michael.
Yes. That was his first wife. Oh my God. The daughter of Saul.
Oh yeah. Okay. Right. Well, he gave her 100%.
Time being.
I mean, that's just the kind of guy he was.
For the time
He
being.
wasn't a slacker by
For
by
the
no
time
means.
being.
By
I mean,
no
he had a lot of wives. The only one he even cared about. But that's another, that's another
Unlike
point.
those that are, unlike those.
My point is, he
Go
gave
ahead.
God
I won't say it.
100%.
I won't say it.
Okay.
I'm sorry to have made that, to have disrupted your flow, Lily.
Again, we have.
I have to learn to communicate and
Yes,
listen.
and again, and we have these crossroads, Lily, and this is why
Absolutely.
this play is so important
Just
for them to come and see.
Yes, we're gonna.
Right.
Okay.
Discussion.
Yes.
And open that door
Yes.
in communication.
Yes. And sometimes we have to learn how to have respect for one another. So when one is talking and
Mama.
yes, that's right, and
Mama did.
tone is so
Mama did.
important because you have to look like you want to express yourself, but then also you have to let the
Right,
other
that's
person
exactly.
express themselves, and two people can't talk at the
See,
same
I
time.
learned
Okay.
just in that split second.
Okay, so sometimes just you can bring it down a little notch because I know how it is when you really feel as though you're so right, but then also the other person
Always
feels
teaching
the
me.
same
Yeah.
way too. So it
You
takes one to
mentioned
listen so the other one
everyone
can be
to-
heard,
That's
Right.
right.
and
That's
vice
right.
versa.
And we have to be active listeners, not
Right.
Right.
Now, I'm learning that. I know I'm a passive listener. Again, I'm learning this lesson. It's new to me. I mean, I grew up in a house with a lot of people. So the dog with the lightest bark, you usually got
Right.
Okay.
it.
Now we've talked a lot about the writing part.
Mm-hmm.
Explain to me the directing part. How do you visualize? How do you direct? How do you see the scenes and how does all that come about?
And do you have an assistant to help you with all of this?
This is all
Is
you.
this all you?
Yeah, I have my best friend though that she's golden, and I'm gonna say her name. Jillian Pardon is my best friend, and she's my assistant on the administrative end, but she also sits in on the rehearsals, and she's just been just a gem because she knows what I'm looking for, and she knows me so well that she kind of helps to balance me because
Right.
I may be going like, this, and everybody may not understand, especially
Right.
because if they've never acted before,
Right.
they don't get it. And so I may be speaking with them in director terms, and they're like,
What are you saying?
"What are you saying?"
Right.
And then she may give an analogy. I'm like, "Yeah, that's it." I'm like,
That's what I just said.
"Right,
Right.
right, that's what I just said." But because she doesn't wear that hat, it's easier for her to be able to translate,
Right.
and so that's a great thing. But for the directing, I let my cast members know up front ahead of time. I am a very strict director.
Okay.
I have a directive personality. That's just by nature, but I'm also very passive in some ways. So I'll let them, feel their way to develop the character. And I told them ahead of time, I'm going to be, passive and allow you guys to develop the character. But I want to let you know when it comes time for me to really put on my director hat, you need to be prepared for that. So I'm letting you know ahead of time. I have my friends, they fondly call me Hitler. and from a directive perspective, but it's only but I do it in love. I really
Right.
do it,
You
and I
did good,
explain
right?
that.
You want to get
Right,
things
I want the
down and
best,
on
but I
point.
want the best out
Out
of
of
them.
you.
And
Right.
sometimes, some of my actors have gone home and been really upset, but then they'll call me or they'll text me later and say, thank you. I've never had to work this hard. Everything else has been easy. Why, you're so hard and you're this, and I just don't see this. And then when I said, one told me actually the other day, and it's funny, she said, I just think that you're harder on me than everyone else. And I don't know if it's because you see more in me. I said, well, no, it's not that. But you have to remember, not only is this a production and where people are paying good money to come see this,
Come on.
and
now.
I told you that I operate in excellence. And so that's important to me. But more importantly, this is a ministry. And so although you may feel like I'm being hard on you, I know that you're saved. I know that you know the Lord. I can't say the same for everyone else. And
It's
so
coming to one.
So
I have to
expect-
have a discerning spirit and know how to treat each individual. Well, she's, she was in her feelings, so she said, well, I don't see how that has anything to do with it. Well, I knew that comment right there was not from a spiritual standpoint.
Right.
She was in her feelings. And so I dismissed it. I said, okay, well, how about we do this? How about I won't say anything to you today. You just bring it. You bring it, and I won't have anything to say. She said, well, that's not going to happen. Right. That's what I said, because I was expecting something totally different in the
Right,
response.
right.
And I said, okay. And so we went forward. And she said, it's just not, it wasn't productive. It wasn't productive. I said, but after I told you how I wanted you, to be in that character, I said, you gave me exactly what I wanted. So I would say it was very productive. Well, then that night she apologized. She said, you're right.
And that's why
She
you
had
are
to
the
get it
director,
over.
because
And,
you are looking at what you want.
And what I
and,
see.
And they can't see that.
Mm-hmm.
They have to learn how to become that.
Right.
the visual.
And see, the
Yes.
thing about directing, some directors, just like myself, are very directive and some will just put on blinders and they don't care. They don't want to hear what you have to say.
input.
I've been,
Shut you down.
yeah, I've been there.
Right.
They don't want any input whatsoever. You give me this or you leave.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that director, but I am going to push you to the limit, because if I see more in you, it's my job as a director to pull it out of you. And I have one of my actors, she's been in plays all over the city, sings everywhere. And she said and she doesn't have a really large role, but every role is just as important.
Okay.
Right.
And so she says, but I've never had to work this hard.
That is awesome.
That's good.
And so she thanked me. And that's, if I get that they get it, that I know
It's
I've
just
done my
making their
job.
craft much, much, much
Absolutely.
better.
Yeah.
You mentioned you opened the whole audition up to everybody, Christian industries or whatever community. How many are in the cast that are not Christian?
Well, only the Holy Spirit really knows. Only God really knows.
Right.
But if I had to guess, if they're either unsaved or not saved, I would say about half.
Good.
You know,
So
or
this
maybe
is
even babes in Christ.
Christ.
So, yeah.
So this is
How many
building up
cast
that
members do you
relationship.
have?
Some people play two roles. So
Okay. Okay.
well, or they play one night and not another
Okay,
night, so they'll
okay.
play as an extra. So I think we have a total of 15.
15. Okay. That's good.
Understudies and everything included and all that stuff. Well, it's about that time, guys. We're
Yeah,
almost
well, I would like to wrap it
Wow.
up with listening to some Cameron when
It's
we
been
go
a
on.
pleasure. Thank you.
And just let him close
Oh,
out
see,
with
it wasn't
that.
that bad. You did
It
really,
wasn't.
really well.
You were able to do it.
It was a blessing. I'm glad that I made it.
And the more you
It's a
get out
blessing
here
that
and with
you came
your
up with this play. I think this
Yes.
is something. This is something to take again in Northeast Ohio. Take advantage at the beginning of
give
June.
them that information
Amazing.
again.
Yes, it's
Lily.
Heaven's Finest Productions presents Crossroads: How Your Decisions Determine Your Destination. Written and directed by myself, Lillie Bell, on Saturday, June 3rd, 2017 at 6 p.m. Doors open at 5:15, and Sunday, June 4th, 2017 at 4 p.m. and doors open at 3 o'clock at Tri-C Metro
Let them know where they can get those
Auditorium.
tickets. Remember?
Tickets can be purchased on Eventbrite and via Facebook, also at Nikki's Records.
All
Is there
right.
somewhere they can call for tickets?
Please call area code 216-410-6264, 216-410-6264.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
June is coming up. It's
Yes.
next week. Seem like
So we
beginning.
want you to come out and support her and support Crossroads. We love you. We thank you for
Love
coming
you.
on our
Thank
show
you so
today.
much.
Appreciate it.
Pleasure.
And we want everyone to have a
Sorry.
blessed week. And thank you for tuning in with What's Going On with
Lady D.
and Sir John. And we're going to close this out with Cameron. Thank you.
Yes.
I know that God will show up. It may seem a little hard, but you gotta know that God will see you through if you just hold Him. He will. It may be dark and cloudy right now, but you just, He will comfort you. Now you may be wondering, how could